Welcome, folks, to No Bones About It. Today is the 13th of September of 2021. I'm glad to be back. I was back last week, but now I think I'm on a regular schedule. Welcome, Tom, South Dakota. Tom from South Dakota. Spent about a week in the hospital and out and back in again to ER and stuff, but everything's good now. I think I'm 100%. Again, I thank Kerr and Doc Caffey for talking me into going to the hospital. This week, going to have on a friend and a sponsor of the show, Boston Jimmy, who'll be coming on in just a few minutes. He just signed in the green room. I think he's going to eat some shrimp and have a couple of beers as well. No, excuse me, a couple of glasses of wine while he's waiting. We got a few things going, not much, but I did do the wheel. And the winner of the prize pack I put together last week is, believe it or not, Tom Behrens from South Dakota. So he gave me his address. I'm going to be mailing it out this week. If I box it up and get it out. I don't think I'm giving anything away this week. Well, maybe I will. I'll give away a No Bones About It keychain and 5.5 Legs Virtual Cigar Lounge keychain. Let's see. What do we got? We had NFL football this weekend. We had all sorts of stuff going on this weekend. But as soon as Jimmy comes back and sits down, I'll bring him in. No, Tom, you're a faithful watcher, man. You deserve it. You're on the wheel with about 12 other people, and you won. But I'm going to bring Jimmy on. He's going to talk about I know he's probably tired of talking about his experience with the Rocky Patel. Oh, he's not. He's never tired of talking about it. It was actually pretty exciting, man. I was happy for him about his Rocky Patel smoking contest, which I believe they're trying to make a little bit bigger. But Jimmy will talk all about that. Let me bring him on.
Hey.
Welcome, Jimmy. How are you?
All right. How's everybody today?
Yeah, it's hot. I had the AC running all day in the garage. It's still freaking hot in here. The humidity curves on too, man.
House has been doing this all day, so it's like I may have to have it tuned up because my wife said it was hot in the house.
Yeah, we have our AC company comes, but we're on a maintenance plan that we do. It's like $19 a month, and they come every 6 months and clean it out, replace the filter.
Mine lives next door.
And yes, Kurt.
My guy lives next door. He fixes everything for me.
Oh. Yeah, it's nice to have the AC guy next door.
Yeah, he's fixed a lot of ACs in the neighborhood over the last few years.
Easy money. Yeah, the AC has been good this year so far. I had a little problem with the I don't know if you guys have them in Florida, but we have grinder pumps here. Everything that goes out of the house goes into like a 96-gallon tank outside. It's got a big old grinder pump in the bottom. It grinds it all up, and it shoots the liquid out to the sewer system. It just basically saves the city or the county money on having to process all that. So they put it on us, and those things run between $1,500 and $3,500.
Holy crap!
But
awesome.
I went out there after the storm, and I learned this. And I heard the beeping going on, but I was hoping it was the neighbors. I turned the corner, I was like, son of a bitch. So I go there, it's full. Didn't know that during the storm, when we have all the flooding in the water, it backs up the sewers, and they turned all the stuff off at the plant. So when our grinder pump shoots it out, it has nowhere to go. So it's basically shooting it out, and it's coming right back into the tank. And the pump is just running. So when I took the cover off, I was like, ooh, that's hot. Well, guy came and looked at it. One of the hoses going out to the street, he just touched it. It kind of crumpled but that had to be 15 years old. And then the heat and everything, it just kind of he fixed all that up. And he suggested, which makes total sense now, when you notice a storm coming, make sure it's empty, turn it off. And don't worry about turning it back on until you get full. I said, all right, that makes sense. I learned something else after 8 years. But anyway, um, go ahead and tell it. How did you get started? First off, in the Rocky Patel smoke off or whatever it's called.
So
How'd
the
that
Rock,
whole thing come out?
so the Rocky Patel thing. He's the latest sponsor of this contest. This contest is called the Cigar Smoking World Championship, and it's been running for over 10 years now. Originally, it was founded by a cigar enthusiast in Croatia who just him and his friend one day. They said, "Hey, we've got long ash contests," but he says, "What if we did a slow smoking contest? Like, see how long you can smoke a cigar for."
And you can't do something like this during the competition, right?
I have followed this for a number of years. I've seen it around, but it wasn't widely available in the United States. So we've had U.S. representation, actually World Championship representation, but this year they kind of broadened it into the U.S. and there were originally 15 shops, but it ended up being 13 that actually hosted an event, a qualifying event. And one of those was my local shop here in Melbourne, Florida, Executive Cigar Shop and Lounge. So I was like, dude, man, I'm in. I said, let's have fun with this, right? Something like $125. You got a box of these cigars, plus, and that included your registration fee to get into the contest. The cigar itself, if I give me one moment, I'm still talking if you can hear me.
Everybody signed on. The winner of the prize pack from last week was Tom Berenz out of South Dakota. And like I said, I'm going to be giving away another one of these this week. No Bones About It keychain and 5.5 Legs Virtual Cigar Lounge keychain. And welcome everyone. Welcome Caitlin. Thank you for signing on.
I can't find a damn thing. I have one more. I got to buy some more. But anyway, it's a 5 1/8 by 43 Corona. Is the cigar, the competition cigar. And you basically only have essentially like 3.5 inches from the foot to the band of what you would consider smoking tobacco, right? Because if you burn the band, you lose a whole bunch of minutes. So I didn't know all the rules, so I had to go get the rules and everything and study it. And I got this box of cigars, get 10 cigars. They're like $9 a piece, something like that. So it was a good deal. And I started saying, okay, let me go practice this. Now, mind you, I'm looking at numbers that are coming in from around the world, from different places like Germany and Russia that have already done their qualifying rounds. And they're coming in with numbers of 3 hours and 18 minutes, 3 hours and 30 minutes. And I'm like going, how the hell do you do 3+ hours on a Corona? And here I am practicing, and I'm saying, I'm getting like an hour and 40, and I'm pushing it, right? So then, I started thinking some more, and I went through. I bought another box of cigars. So, I think Rocky makes a couple shekels on this, being a sponsor, because people practice by buying this particular cigar, which, by the way, is called the Rocky Patel Mareva. Mareva is the shop that this cigar enthusiast that founded it, Marco Blico. He it's his shop. It's a Mareva shop in Croatia. So this is the cigar that everybody smokes. So I get into the contest and I'm feeling confident. I actually had hit an hour 50 plus on my own practicing. So I was like, okay, I'm ready. And so I sit down, we go into the shop. And one of the things that really benefited me is in my lounge here in my house, my ceiling is white, but the lounge in the shop was black, flat black. So when you hold your cigar up like this, you could see the smoke. That helped a lot. Bought me some time. So I had some tips and tricks. We can get into that later. Anyway, I go through this and I win my contest in Melbourne with a time of 2 hours and 1 minute and change, which was just 1 minute shy of the current U.S. season record holder from Naples, who came in at 2 hours and 2 minutes. So there was a big cheering going on in my lounge, pushing me to go that one extra minute, and I just couldn't make it happen. The cigar went out. But that got me a trip to Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh, at the Rocky Patel Burn Lounge in Pittsburgh, is where they held the U.S. national champions. There were 13 of us that showed up. Well, not 13. There was some less because the guy from California couldn't come out because of COVID issues, and the season record holder from Naples, his freaking flight got canceled. All right.
Oh.
All right, because I was really hoping to meet him and sit back, and I know him, but I wanted to sit back with him and smoke and take that contest to its fullest. But there were some other, names out there people might know, like Fred Rui, one in Orlando, and but we got into this, and it was a lot of fun. And some people, they didn't last 10 minutes in Pittsburgh.
10 minutes.
Yeah, because they were pushing it, because they knew they were looking at the times, and they know that I've got at that time I was number 9, 8 or 9 in the world as far as time goes. Right now, the Polish girl came in. She came in with a high number just yesterday, so now I'm number 10. But in a total of all cigar smokers in the world that compete in this, I'm like number 10 still.
That's still pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive, man.
Yeah, I feel good about that. So I think people knew that, and they were trying to figure out ways to maintain the burn. And they were slowing it too much, and unfortunately, it went out on them. So it got down to like about 4 of us, and then 2 more whittled off. Like Fred Rui, I think, came in 4th or 5th, and he whittled off, and then everybody's just watching me and the other guy. Now, what happened was Ryan Janis from Buffalo is the U.S. champion now. And what happened is when I started the cigar, I was after the way it works, the way the contest works, you get 2 matches to light the cigar, stick matches. Everybody gets a perfect cutter, to cut their cigar. And you get 1 minute to cut and prepare it. Just make sure it's not plugged or anything, trade it in for another one. And then the clock starts and you got 1 minute to light the cigar with those stick matches. And then you can't light it again. You can't blow on it. You can't blow through it. Okay. You always have to hold it in your hand in view. All right. So, and the first.
I'm writing questions, Sam. I'm listening. I'm just writing questions.
Yeah, the first 40 minutes of the contest, you have to hold the ash. If the ash falls within 40 minutes, there are deductions depending on the time in towards 40. So if you drop the ash in the first 10 minutes, I think you lose 15 minutes. So you're in a negative category immediately, right? But if you carry it 38 minutes or something, I think you lose a minute. All right. So the idea is to carry an ash for 40 minutes. And then after that, if the ash drops, you can ash it as many times as you want after that. Now it's just how long does it take to burn? How long can you keep that running without it going out? That's it. That's the rest of the contest. And you can't burn the band. All right. And we did this. So 40 minutes goes by, and I had this down to a good science in the beginning, to where I looked around me and I was ahead of everybody. As far as my ash in 40 minutes was like an inch. Everybody else is like an inch and a quarter, inch and a half. Some people 2 inches. They were just way into it, and I felt really, really good. And then sadly, my cigar started to smoke really tight. like I was sucking ice cream through a drinking straw. And I was like, oh my, this is going to be a problem. And I just puffed as hard to keep that cherry lit, kept dropping the ash, looking at it, puffing and trying. And it wasn't burning a lot, but it was getting hot inside, and it was just, it was just really driving me crazy. And I struggled through that for a good inch plus. And Fred's watching me, and everybody's like going, hey, Jimmy's gonna go out. But I powered it through, they said. And eventually it opened up. And by that time, when it opened up, it kind of burned pretty fast right after that. And me and Ryan were neck and neck, like we were right at the razor edge of each other. He was probably 30 seconds behind me. And then I kind of shifted gears a little, because there's a third thing you can do with this cigar, and that's you get at the tunnel. So the champions over these guys that go like 3 hours on this, they get the cigar to tunnel behind the band, so they don't ever burn. Once it gets down near the band, they get it to burn inward without burning the binder and the filler.
How the hell do you do that?
Well, you kiss the cigar. If
you
you
take
do
baby
that,
puff?
you take little tiny baby puffs, but many little tiny baby puffs. You got to be like, and what happens is, because there's not a lot of oxygen getting into it, because there's nothing outside burning. It's only inside. So you got to keep that going. I didn't do enough practice on that because I should have, but I didn't. And what happened with me is everybody saw me doing it, and they're going, he's going on the inside. Look at him. He's going on he's doing it. He's going on the inside. And I was like, oh, shut up, man. I'm just trying to get this thing going. And you only got a little nub at this point, you're trying to, and there's a little bit of smoke coming out, and the judge, there are certified judges, and the judge coming around, and they're looking to make sure there's still smoke coming out of my cigar, because otherwise it's over. And then finally it went out, and I put my hands up. I said, that's it, and Ryan wins. At that point, his cheering section, he was there with his wife and some friends from Buffalo. They were all ecstatic, and I learned that he just got married the week before. And now he's heading to Croatia this weekend for
this weekend coming?
Yeah, it's coming up this weekend. Mini second honeymoon for the World Championship. Now, here's the good part. So at the end, I come in second, and what happened was I won this really cool cigar knife.
Nice.
So, and it's got the Cigar World Championship logo on it over here. And so this is a Les Finet Lamas. Probably botched that up, but it's a French knife, I guess. Very sharp, So very cool knife. I won a $400 watch at my local, and some people, because they only had like 4 of these, some people won $3,500 watches, which I didn't get. But even though I was like number 2 in the United States going into the finals, I'm like, I didn't get no $3,500 watch. Right? Fred Ruiz got one. I'm like, oh, yeah, come in, near my time. But we all had fun with it. It's okay. I'm happy. I got a $400 watch. I got a $150 knife. The winner got one of those $3,500 watches. He got a big, huge humidor. And between his shop and the Rocky Pail organization, they flying him over to Croatia and this weekend. And they normally have the main event in like a hotel conference center kind of thing, like ballroom, with a lot of other events leading up to it. But because of COVID, the Croatian government said, no, we're not doing that. So they ended up renting a luxurious yacht. I mean, a mega yacht that can hold that can berth like 50 people in rooms downstairs in bed, in cabins. And
wow,
they're going out on that. All right. And there's going to be like, leading up to events and parties. And then there's the main event. And there's this big black tie. Everything's a big black tie affair that they have. And that whole thing is all paid for by the organization. So basically, you are having a phenomenal 3 days of your life all around cigars. And this is something, if you're a cigar enthusiast and this first time you're hearing about it, get on board next year. I'm trying to work with the organization now to help promote this more. And my number one question, which I got to get answered, is, do you have to be a Rocky Patel retailer to have this con?
Oh, you froze up.
If he's sponsoring it. Any shop could do it. They're just going to buy these cigars, right? Which, you got to do anyway for the contest. And anybody should be able to participate in this. They may not have enough judges here in the United States.
Well, that was one of the questions I just wrote down. How do you become a certified judge for that?
So there is a whole training program for that. There is a cigar smoking world championship judges society, okay, where they have all the rules and all the training. They got videos. They teach everything, and you get certified to be a judge. What to look for, how it works, and all of that. So as America grows in it, we're going to probably need more judges.
That'd be pretty interesting.
I think so.
I wouldn't
mind being a judge.
Oh, hell no. Because I just don't, that's, I could smoke a cigar, like I said, it all depends. You're watching a football game. I can get 2 hours easy out of a cigar, but
goes out.
If you think about it, I relight it a couple times or something, but then you definitely have to practice.
Right.
I'm thinking my daughter signed on. She told me to become a judge. But okay, so that answers the judge question. Do they use this? Now I know on your show at the week after you had the gentleman that won, and the other gentleman was the guy that puts it on from Croatia, correct?
Marco's the founder of this.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, so do they use the same Rocky Patel cigar every year, or they come up with a certain one each year for that?
This is the second or third year that they've been using a Rocky Patel cigar. Before that, it was a general cigar. It was a Macanudo.
But
I believe it's the same Vitola.
Okay.
I believe it's the same Vitola. Basically the same dimensions. I'd have to get some more clarification on it, but that's my impression. It's just because the Cigar Smoking World Championship Society, they decide to say they define the cigar. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. Now that cigar is actually it's a tricky cigar, the one that they had Rocky make, because it's a San Andreas wrapper and it's got some Ligero in it. So thick inner leaf, thick outer leaf. All right. You have to think about how you keep that ignited and burning and not burning too fast. So I smoked 26 of them to prepare myself.
Now, do they supply the cigar once you get to the contest?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's part of your registration fee. Right?
Oh, okay.
So my registration fee was like $125, something like that. $100 of that is primarily the cigars. I think they're like $90 a box plus tax, whatever. And then the other, there was like $40 is like the registration fee or something, $30-$40. And that one gets you the cigar and gets you to seat at the tables. By the way, you're not allowed to talk.
Yeah, but for 100,
you're not allowed to talk or drink anything for the first 5 minutes. Don't ask me why. Just can't.
Yeah, I don't get that either. But I'll figure that out when I go to the Cigars World Championship website and see what it takes to be a judge. And I'll let everybody know what it's going to take. And
I've asked people, and I've asked them too, as far as judging goes. There's things like everybody knows that there's some people that have found ways to I like to say there are tricks, hacks, and cheats, right? So the tricks and the hacks, like I got some hacks that I do, which are within the rules, okay, that buy me time. All right. For instance, one of the things I do is when I light the cigar, well, everybody else, they use 1 or 2 matches and they get that foot all nice and toasty. I just light the very edge of the foot. Okay. Because what I learned with that cigar, it's so well constructed, okay, that it wants to burn across the foot first and find its and continue to burn line, right? As opposed to burning down. So the airflow and everything is a very well constructed cigar. So what I do is I light the very edge. You get a little ember going, just a little ember, like kindling in a fire, right? And then I just give it a few good hard puffs to get it to go down a little bit on the edge. And then I just sit there like this and rotate the cigar and move it in the air a little bit, as it's got hardly any burn yet, and I could just watch it. It's like a Liga Privada at that time. It's just burning, smoke's pouring out of it, right? And it's just trying to find its way around the edge. And everybody else is puffing, and I'm like, I hadn't done anything yet except finding its way. I get like 10 minutes out of that.
Well, I was going to say, that's got to buy you quite a few minutes, man.
Yeah, and I told Ryan to practice that. I said, if you can do anything, practice that technique a little, because you might be surprised at what you can do.
So how many people were at your lounge at Executive when they did this?
We had 5.
5. So all 5 have to sit close together for the judge, correct?
Yeah, we're all sitting around each other. Okay. Some lounges had a little more, 10, 15. You know, there's one. The rule is there's got to be at least one judge for 10 people. So for every 10 people, there's got to be at least a single judge.
Okay. My next question was on the band. I'm sitting here. I would assume they put the bands on pretty tight.
The bands are glued on.
Glued on, because I'm thinking, what if somebody's kind of trying, just sitting here with it in the hand and trying to.
No, you can't move that band. That band is glued. Not like normal glue, like, it's glued on.
So I would assume they measure the band too at the end just to make sure it didn't move.
If they have to.
Okay.
I mean, it's not moving. Trust me. I mean, the band doesn't move.
Okay, you got the same cigar every year. Now you get the 2 matches. You said if your matches go out before you get your cigar lit, you're done.
You're done.
Wow.
So learn to strike a light a cigar with a match, and don't be sitting on it. So you could be sitting underneath an air conditioning duct, which can be really good for when you're doing this, right? Because you get a little extra airflow. But it's not so good when you're striking the match, right?
Right.
So, yeah, where you sit could also be an issue. But you can use that. We had a little bit of controversy on that because you got 2 matches, and we were under the understanding in my lounge of, you can use one match, you can use both matches at the same time, or you can use one match and then the other one as a backup in case the first one goes out. Okay.
Thank you, Jason.
Yeah. Now, there was another lounge that said, no, you either get to use one match or both matches. There's no backup.
Oh.
And I was like, that wasn't it. I didn't read the rules. I said, yeah, there are some things we felt needed to be extra clarified in the future. That was one of them. But nobody really had a problem lighting with the match. I mean, you just fire the flame, you take a puff on it, the thing's in light.
Right. I'm gonna take a quick break, real quick, just to put out some sponsors out there. Then when we come back, we're gonna talk about what I'm wearing, the Big Tony I'm smoking that you gave a 93. This is the new one.
You hope you agree with me. I hope you agree with me. I hope you're agreeing with me.
No, absolutely. It's. I thought the original Big Tony was a fantastic smoke. This is much better than the first one.
Yeah. Well, I'm smoking a timeless.
And then I have I have the V35, the new one, as my second smoke for the night. I don't know if have you rated this one yet? Well, we'll get back to that in a second, but let me first put this up there. First sponsor for the show is GTO Doc Rodriguez at GTO Cigars in Montgomery, Alabama. 334-538-2949 if you need to get a hold of him. And those who know smoke GTO. And I'm privileged to have my guest as a sponsor of the show, Boston Jimmy and StogiePress.com. And that's it for sponsors, because I'm a very low-cost show.
It's okay. Everybody get out there and do some sponsorship out of it.
You barter. You know, you help me out. I push the show all the time anyway, so why not throw it up there? So this is just fantastic. I don't even know how to explain it. I think it burned well. I got a very bad habit when it comes to smoking cigars, and you tried to talk me out of this before. I try to even up the burn, but you explained to me how to really even that up by just smoking it. And I got to get out of that.
Try to rotate it, and if it's doing a little uneven burn, take the long end of the burn, that's not being burnt, and put it on the bottom. All right. As much as we know heat rises, the reality is with cigars, you want the longer non-burning edge on the bottom, and just give a couple little puffs, and what'll happen is the ember will heat up and come down around, and it'll find its way. So you do that for a little bit, but if it really gets to be because if you keep touching the flame to your cigar, eventually you are basically causing it to create charcoal
and burn a lot hotter, I would assume.
Oh yeah, and not so much burn hot, but you're definitely going to be a semi-burnt area that now you're igniting with a flame. You might start to get charcoaly tastes. Right?
Now I'm gonna get into your. You're a sports guy like I am, but you root for the wrong teams. But then again, my Giants looked freaking terrible yesterday, so I can't say anything. My Yankees aren't doing so good. They're half a game behind the Blue Jays and the Sox.
Yeah,
so they could pull out the wild card, but
you got two doubleheaders coming up.
Yeah,
I believe if not doubleheaders. No, you don't have two doubleheaders. You have a makeup game. So your schedule actually has two more games before the end of the year than the Red Sox have to play. So you've got two games to play, and that's each win on those two games is a half a game, right? Oh, towards if the Red Sox were completely done, it would be, so you got opportunity. This is a tight race. As a matter of fact, the American League East, the way it's running right now, it could be a three-way tie for wild card slots.
Well, how do you do that then? What's the tiebreakers for those? They're not going to play a game.
Well, there is a tiebreaker where it goes. They look at the head-to-head. Okay, so if we beat you more than you beat us, then we take the slot.
Well, for two teams, but with three teams, you got to look at all that.
Well, no, then the other team, you got to look at head-to-heads and all of that. So
I wouldn't want to be sitting there because there's a lot of money riding on that. But then again, you don't go on a 13-game winning streak, the longest winning streak you had since 1960, and then go into this slump and lose 9-10 in a row.
That's what happened.
They can blame themselves, but
the Giants. You know what? Tampa Bay. We didn't look all that spectacular. I think this kid, Zach, from the Cowboys, I think he looked really good.
Dak Prescott, he looked fantastic considering his injury and coming back. Yeah. And I'm not a Cowboy fan, and I bet somebody a case of Miller Lite against a case of Mick Ultra Gold. I thought the Giants would have given them at least a game in New York, and then they just Nothing. But
And Kansas City didn't look all that great.
he's my quarterback. I go for him first round every round. If I can get him, I take him. And they're like, "What are you taking a quarterback in the first round for?" I said,
Almost lost that game.
Yeah, but he when he plays from behind, he's dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Very dangerous.
Yeah,
But
they got lucky.
no, Mike, you think Mike Domain thinks that the Sox and the Astros are going to be in the ALCS.
Sox and the Astros in the ALCS in the championship? No way. Tampa Bay is going to the World Series. Okay. I have a really hard time even thinking that my Sox, with the shitty pitching we have right now, can even get through a wild card game, let alone a series. Okay.
I'm not a Tampa Bay fan by any means, but damn, they're like, good.
They got grit, man. They put numbers up, man, big time numbers.
What do you think about Mike brought up too? The Browns. I thought Baker Mayfield played a great game yesterday for him. But you're playing Pat Mahomes. I mean, well, you can't assume a win's a win. That's like the Florida State.
Well, that was my point. They almost won that game. Yeah. Okay. They almost won Cleveland. Okay, it was down to those last minutes, and they made that bumble mess up, and that was it.
And that they were at Kansas City too. They would have beat them in Kansas City. That would have been a great win.
That would have been a hell of a story to be talking about right now.
Well, what's the biggest story for me, I think, is, and I'm a Florida State fan through and through, and I'm a Jameis Winston fan. And these guys gave me, oh, he ain't gonna do shit. Hill's gonna be the quarterback. I said, all right, I don't know Saints football all that well. Yeah. I know enough that when you take Hill, put him behind the center, you're losing him at tight end, fullback, wide receiver. You're losing him at too many other spots. And when Jameis came out and threw 5 touchdowns yesterday, I just looked at him and said, hey, how many touchdowns did Winston throw last night?
Well, you needed, being an FSU fan, you needed him back against Jacksonville State.
You think?
I mean, what the hell was that all about?
And that's a difference. I read an article today. That's a difference between coaches like, I like Norville. He did great at Memphis. I like him as a coach. But you get the coach like Saban and Dabo Sweeney and those guys that are still yelling and talking to their kids when they're up 25, 30, 40 points. They get upset with them when they make a mistake. They do that. No, they don't pat them on the back. We're up 17-7. It's okay. We're doing good. No. 17-7 obviously is not good enough.
No. But there's never good enough in sports. Any sport. I don't care who you're playing.
I know a win is a win, but it's going to be another long football season for me when it comes to this college and the pros. Unless the Giants get their shit together. And but what's the chances of that?
It's football. It isn't like you have to win every game to get into postseason. You know what I mean?
No. Remember when the Giants with 9-6 and they made the playoffs and beat them?
You going to remind me of this?
Yeah, absolutely.
That was my Patriots, man, back in the day. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I gotta.
And that kid looks good too. And the Pats.
Who?
The new quarterback.
The Giants.
Patriots.
Oh,
Mac.
That Mac out of Alabama. Yeah,
I tell you what.
I also took Najee Harris.
He impressed me yesterday. The way he was threading the ball into traffic was very Brady-like. He was just like rockets right down the center into traffic.
He's a very smart quarterback. Very smart. The more he plays, the better he is going to get. That's a fact. This is way off the subject of football and sports, man. Do you go to Arby's at all?
Yeah, when I was a kid.
I know, but if we go, we always get them potato cakes.
Potato cakes. All right.
Yes. Arby's is nixing the potato cakes for crinkle fries. No.
Crinkle fries.
Yeah, I don't eat much of them anyway. On the diet I'm on, I try to stay away from fries and
If you
bread.
take the potato cakes and turn them into waffle fries, then they'd be good.
That'd be great. And you know how hard it is for an Italian to stay off of pasta and bread? You know.
About it.
It's not easy.
Posted my wife made for me the other day, the bolognese.
Yes, I did. I saw that. That looks fantastic.
I had it for lunch again. I had leftovers for lunch, and there's still more for tomorrow's lunch. No wonder I can't lose weight.
So tell everybody what you got going for So. I read the email this weekend. I didn't see any.
There's no Easter egg in it yet. No, there'll be an Easter egg, and I'm not gonna keep telling people that there's an Easter egg in it. So they know they've seen.
You gotta look for it.
Now you got to look for it.
You got to read the email and look for it.
So
read them all.
We have some. I'm actually doing a little scramble for Saturday because I was originally going to have ATL Cigars on out of Atlanta, but they had an event they had to do, so then I was moving to get somebody else. So I'm shifting some names around, and I don't have a name yet, but we'll see what happens. I got to reach out to people.
I smoked a cigar last night. Last night I took a picture of it. I don't know if you ever smoked it before. It's from the Blackbird Cigar Company.
Mm-hmm. Which one?
Black and Gold Band. I didn't take that side of
Black and Gold Band. Is that the Finch?
It might have been. I could tell you this. I enjoyed the hell out of it, though.
I did review almost.
I took a picture of the wrong side of the band.
I think I reviewed. Let's see.
But while they're waiting, folks, you need to know anything about cigars, you need to go to stogiepress.com, read his reviews, sign up, get his email every week, watch his show on Saturdays at 7, get your name on there, comment, do whatever. And the next Saturday afternoon at 11, he'll put you on the Wheel of Wonderfulness.
Oh, you're talking about the Jackdaw. It's the orange and black band?
No, it's black and gold.
Black and gold.
I don't know if you'll be able to see it.
Oh, crap. Is that the new one? Yeah, I didn't smoke that one yet. That's the new one. That's supposed to get me a couple of review.
It was really good.
They have a good craft. I mean, they've.
Well, there's so many cigar companies out there. There's so many manufacturers out there now. They're. I still got one Boston Jimmy in the humidor, I'll tell you that much.
They you and me. I don't know if it's you and me that's going in and out, but sometimes my screen goes through a reset. So,
that's good. It's good. It's all good.
Save the Boston Jimmy, man. Let it age a year. Let me know what it's like.
It's been sitting there for at least 6 months. I bought a box of blank cigar bands off of Amazon. So when I get certain cigars that I really like, that I get one or two of, or whatever, I take one, I put the band on, put the date on it, and I stick it in a separate drawer in the humidor.
Nice. Yeah, I do that.
I hardly ever go in that drawer. I smoke all my other stuff. Except when I smoke something special, I'll go in there and I'll on special occasions I smoke that stuff. But I'm a firm believer, if somebody gives you a nice cigar, one, don't save it, smoke it, enjoy it, and then just say, "Ooh, I need to get some more of these." I had a friend of ours. My wife had gone to a cigar shop she went on a girls' weekend to Destin, Florida, and there's a couple of cigar shops in the small Fort something there, and she went in, and it actually they had Luke Bryan cigars by Davidoff. The white Davidoff label with a small Luke Bryan band underneath it in gold. And she got me one of those. It was a $30 cigar. I normally wouldn't buy that for myself, except as a special occasion. But she bought it, and I smoked it. It was like, oh, that's really good. It's really, really good. So I went on the site, on the shop site, and a box runs an autograph box because he autographs every box. Because apparently, I thought he just did this for the shop, but it happens to be his cigar shop that his friend runs for him. So he goes there all the time whenever he's in town or on vacation or something. But an empty box of Luke Bryan cigars by Davidoff, empty autograph box alone, they were selling for $200.
My wife would tell me, get rid of that trash.
Dude, I actually have a wall in the bedroom. She allowed me to do it because I was kept on stacking up all my autograph boxes from Caffey and Kerr and Valdez and Island Jim, and I got a box of the Magic with Jesse's signature on it and all that, and just take those Velcro, not Post-its, but I can't remember put them on
the ones
there.
that you put on the wall.
Yeah, and then just put them on the wall, and I got them all set up. And you want to look at that stuff.
Yeah, I do that. I have them hanging behind my bar, above the bar, and my wife just says it looks like crap, and I say stay out of my lounge and you'll be okay. That's it. Hey, by the way, on a shout out perspective, I just want to give everybody notice if you haven't seen the post, and you know Brooks Whittington from Half Wheel,
yeah,
okay, check out his post. He was in a lake, and something happened to his foot. And his foot swelled up like a balloon all the way up to his calf. He's in the hospital right now. He's been on like 8 bags of antibiotics, and they're trying to figure out what it was. They don't see any puncture wounds. They don't think it was a snake bite or anything.
Really?
But his foot yesterday, he posted it yesterday. It is, it's like swelled up and red and purple and just. So he's in some pain right now.
Isn't that a sign of congestive heart failure when that happens to your ankles and your legs like that?
I hope not.
Me too, because I know what he's going through. And that's why I missed the BCA. I was debating whether that Wednesday night to go Thursday morning with Mort and his son and Scotty and stuff. And Kerr says no, it's not a sign of congestive heart failure.
So if you get a chance, reach out to Brooks. And just, give him you got this, bro, man. You get through this. And give him
I'm glad you said that because we had a friend of the shop. She used to work at the old shop we went to. Then she worked at the cigar shop in Biloxi, and she quit that to take care of her parents. But this is kind of hard because I knew him. I knew him as a friend. I didn't know him well, but I've known him for the last 5-6 years. He just somehow, 65 years old, 911 got a call. He was on the floor when he came home. When they came in, took him to the hospital, came down with COVID, and they did a DNR that night. And my thoughts and prayers are with Kathleen and Cameron. And for you, RL, he passed away 2 days ago.
That happened to me just this past last week. A friend of mine, not a friend of mine, it's a family friend. It's my daughter's best friend from high school, her husband, who they all knew. He caught COVID, and he's 35 years old, man, and he died. They actually sent him from here, airlifted him from Melbourne, Florida to Hartford, Connecticut, to get him on an ECMO machine. And when I heard that, I was like, "Oh God, this is such a bad sign." But a lot of good love, a lot of everything through.
Absolutely,
but he passed
it's out
on.
there. People got to believe it's out there. It's a sad thing. I was he vaccinated?
We have different we have different answers to that question. I think the most common answer I'm getting is that he had gotten his first vaccine and he caught it in between the first and second. And he did wait a little bit. I mean, he was waiting to see how everything else was going, and finally made the decision to get it. And he caught it. Now, I'm not sure where he got it. I mean, they do a lot of sports stuff, and they do the daughters in dance. So they're around a lot of people all the time. I don't know if you froze or I froze, because I'm live and you froze.
Yeah, we both disappeared there for a while.
Yeah. So now, they think the most correct answer I'm getting is that he caught it in between the first and the second dose.
Because they made it. The military made. Oh, Doc Caffey, welcome. It's something that folks don't like to talk about because they really don't think there's anything out there. I only knew one other person personally that passed away from COVID, but that was when it first started, and and they were throwing everybody on a ventilator and all that. And he was 65 years old, so he didn't do very. He was on a ventilator for like over a month.
The scary part right now is it's not the 65-year-olds, it's the 30-year-olds, the 40-year-olds you're hearing about now. This thing has been not good.
No. The vaccine is not going to keep you from getting COVID, but it should make they say the effects less severe on you.
Right. Exactly. And if you're not doing it for yourself, do it for your family. Do it for. I mean, this guy left, two young kids and a wife behind. It's sad. It's sad. You just.
Yeah,
and I understand everybody not wanting to get it for various reasons, but you know what? There's 170 million shots plus been given out. Not a lot of issues with it. I mean, are there going to be issues with it? Yeah, you could, if you reach and want to find it, you're going to find out that Johnny down here, he had this bad reaction, but they're far and few between. So, did we rush this? We had to get this out there to protect. So, protect. Ever since we started talking about COVID, we're having this little.
Yeah, right. But I got a friend that is, when this first started, he's a pharmaceutical scientist in England. This guy is super freaking smart. And he said, when we questioned him, when we were debating whether or not to get it or not, he told us, welcome, Jose. He told us, listen, he goes, when they take a drug and they test it for years, over like 3,000, 3,500 test subjects. He goes, they had to get this out. They tested this in over 5 different countries with over 45,000 different subjects. They had to get it out. They proved it. It might not be perfect, but it works.
Right.
Now, the military came out and said the active duty military have to get the shot before because we only do the weekends, so they give them a little bit more time.
Right.
And and they're like, well, what if we can't make it to the UTA? We don't make it that way. Well, guys, go to Walmart, go to CVS, go to Walgreens.
Go anywhere to get it.
Make an appointment. You can get it tomorrow, if you want it. I thoroughly recommend the Moderna. I got that. It felt like a flu shot for me. Just my arm was a little sore. Next, 30 days or 3 weeks later, I went and got it in the other arm. Nothing. I would hope that, they say, they talked about a booster shot, but they said with with Moderna, they're saying the antibody count is so high, you're probably not going to need one with Moderna.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, I got the Pfizer one, and if you all saw me through last year, I could, what I looked like. I could tell you that right after I got the Pfizer one, I lost all the hair on my face.
My wife would appreciate that. I'm an Italian.
I have proof. I have proof. I can show you the dates. Yeah. Here it is. Got the shot. Look, I got no hair anymore.
I love to lose some of my hair, but not that way. That's like going in a hospital. I want to lose. I got to lose weight, but I don't want to lose 8 pounds. But
hey, I'm going in for colonoscopy next week. I'll probably lose about 5 pounds just from that.
Now, I know this is probably something a lot of people don't like talking about, but if you're going to get a colonoscopy, don't make them. Don't. If he's going to prescribe you that Go Lightly crap, the big gallon of shit you got to drink. I went to the VA. They gave me 2 bottles of the little, I don't know, it's like $3 at Walgreens.
The citrus stuff from years ago.
Nitrate or whatever it is, small little bottle. Yeah. You keep that in the fridge, get it cold, you down those, one little pill, Liness, and it cleans you out. And then the first time
they're giving me, it's a prescription thing called Suprep. Okay? It's a mixture you put together, you drink it 8 ounces. And this is my 3rd time. Believe me, I'm not new to the rodeo. So I was like, whatever. I don't have a problem.
I went the last time I went to the VA, they said, "Oh, it's time for colonoscopy."
Yeah, Tom Behrens is right. Magnesium nitrate is
that's it. That's it.
Citrate, not magnesium citrate. I think it's actually. Yes. You're full of shit bones.
Yeah, right. I had something else for you, and I can't remember. Oh, what do you think? This is back to football. Tom Brady said he wants to play till he's at least 50.
I think that Tom Brady can do whatever Tom Brady wants to do, but I could tell you this: if old guys like us know, even though we are not physically fit like Tom Brady, shit happens, man. I mean, the body. I don't care. I mean, it's.
He plays until he can't play anymore.
He doesn't want to get himself, because you see what he did in the game, man. He actually ran. I mean, he became a running back in that game, and he took a hit. You see that hit he took? He has to be careful, all right, because they're not going to hit it. They were nice to him in that game, but I'm going to tell you what. If you leave the quarterback position and you're going to become a running back, you're going to start running, and you're in that position, there are people in the NFL, they're going to hit you, and you're going to get a 350-pounder, man, run you down. Tom Brady recovers from that.
If they got a shot at Tom Brady, they're going to take it. That's a fact. I said before the game even started, during the night of our draft, I said, I think Tom Brady's going to take a hit in the first 3 games. It's going to hurt him really bad.
He didn't get hurt, but he took a hit.
The one game that really impressed me and surprised me, because I took New Orleans in 14, was the way Green Bay played.
Yeah, I didn't see that game.
I didn't. 3 points.
Yeah.
That's crazy, but we're going on an hour. I appreciate you coming on. You're always welcome. Like you're like me, I don't do much at night usually. If I'm either in the garage or I'm at the cigar shop while the wife's doing her arts and crafts stuff.
Whatever they do. Hey, we got our own space.
But I appreciate it, everybody. I'll pull names again for the. I had some keychains made up. Whoops.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And then that's a little bigger because the sticker's a little bigger. And I got the same one for the 5.5 Legs Virtual. And we are back. Mav and myself back on the 5.5 Legs Virtual Cigar Lounge tomorrow night. We took a month and a half hiatus. We got a new computer. We got it up and running today. It works great. They said we got a little HP brick serves the purpose for us. We got to step it up. We'd like to get a separate room so we can leave everything set up and never have to take it down again and stuff. But like I do with this, I just when I'm done with you, I'll turn everything off, pull everything in, cover it with a couple of plastic bags and a sheet, and it sits there until I go set the show up. But,
so you talk about your keychain. I don't know if you got the same thing come across your feed as did on mine this afternoon, and it's probably buried in my feed, but did you see the custom Oreo cookies?
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you could design your own Oreo cookie with, you could put what color you want the cream, what color you want the cookie, whether you want a dark chocolate over the top of it or a white. You could put sprinkles on it, but in the middle you could put a logo. In the middle of the cookie, full color logo.
Now, is that actually from the?
I don't know if it's from the Visco or not, but it came. I have to look at it. I played with it real quick. I threw my Boston Jimmy face on. I was like, "That's freaking awesome!" And I tried to figure out how much it cost, and I couldn't find it out, so I moved on. But sell cookies.
Check that out. But the first thing I'm going to check out tomorrow when I get some time at work is the Cigar Smoking Championship website for the judge thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will let everybody know, but thanks again, Jimmy. I'm going to go in and eat some dinner before I watch some Monday Night Football.
All right.
Thanks, folks.
Oreo teamed up with Pokemon for a first ever cookie rarity.
I'm not a Pokemon fan, but I'm going to end the broadcast.